Finally got the right multi-port 12-volt connector to organize all the 12-volt stuff in the truck. Load updates, Rusty, and more on this episode of
the Clutch Trucker Channel.
Clutch Trucker, filmed before a live and furry studio audience. Yep, that is Rusty, the world-famous meatball dog. Hey YouTube, Clutch Trucker here. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of the Clutch Trucker Channel. Alright, here I am parked in Peosta, Iowa. Yeah, I never heard of it either. A little bit before Dubuque, Iowa, right there at the corner of Iowa, Illinois, and Wisconsin. I've got a load I picked up today, being the 23rd, Monday of January, that I picked up in Sioux City, Iowa. It's going over to Janesville, Wisconsin for a noon delivery tomorrow at a Dollar General. That last load I was on that I couldn't give too many details on was a hazmat load. Polymeric beads is what it is. The stuff they make those like styrofoam, leftover trays and stuff for restaurants out of. That's what that is. And it's barely a hazmat, but it is a hazmat. Went to Meade, Nebraska is where I delivered that. Okay, so yeah, deliver this at noon tomorrow at a Dollar General in Janesville. Haven't booked another load yet because don't know how long that Dollar General is going to take. And so until I know really when I'm going to be empty, no point in booking a load because I don't want to put myself in the situation where then I'm missing a pickup and then I'm going to be at work in, or they will just say I've lost the load, blah, blah, blah. So may or may not end up getting a load tomorrow. That's okay. Won't be the end of the world. If I don't, then I'll just look for something for first thing Wednesday morning. Did find here at this little truck stop, this is the Highway 20 Auto Truck Plaza. If you watched my last video where my one of my 12-volt splitter things died on me. And I plug in a lot of stuff. Got a lot of gadgets. I got two dash cams up here. I've got my main one and my my Rexing V1 4K, which is the one that's been giving me fits. I've got a new one, the V1GW, I think, waiting for me at the house. It just showed up today, apparently, according to the Rexing website. But my V1 4K, unfortunately, it doesn't constantly keep recording. It starts over a lot, so I can't rely on the videos on that. So I've got my V1 Basic still up in the window as a backup. Well, when that other 12-volt thing went out, well, you got one dash cam, two dash cam. There's two things. I've got my plug-in for my GPS, for my Garmin OTR 1010, and we will have the full review of that coming up sometime soon. I was hoping to maybe get to it over the weekend, but I didn't. Hopefully within the next week we'll have that. And then I've got the WeBoost cell phone antenna booster all plugged in. So I've got four different things plugged in. Well, most truck stops only sell these 12-volt splitters that only have two ports on them. And what I had before is I had this one, two or three ports. I had a 3-port one. Is it a 3 or 2? I think it's a 3. And then I had the other 3. So then I had to plug one into the this other one so I could utilize then 4 total plugs. And that one burned up on me. And I tried looking at other truck stops over the last few days, and they only had the 2 or 3 plug one. I needed they only had the 1 or 2 plug one. That's right. And I needed the 3 plug one. This one here, and I found it at this truck stop tonight. This is the Go XT. Triple 12-volt USB charger with USB, and I use the USB to charge my headset. And also this light I'm using, I plug it into there, so I need to have that access. So I have it all kind of up here right next to my dash shelf, which is where my phone is sitting right now. That's where my GPS is. And so now I did use the other one, so at least I had one dash cam running and my GPS running. Now I've got this, I can get everything else wired up tonight. What do you think? Oh, and do want to show this. I got this at a truck stop the other night. I love these. I had another smaller little kit like this. It was a little bit bigger than this one. But I like having a small little stubby with various, heads on it. I can't even think of the right name of that right now. But I found this one. It was like $11 at the truck stop. And I like having something here in the cab. I have all my other tools that I can only access from the outside toolbox on the side. Well, I like having something in here in the cab for little fixes. Like these curtains, the screws that get up in there, well, sometimes they start to come a little bit loose and then these curtains don't want to move. So I can just tighten something like that up. If I need to take something from the dash apart real quick, like the other day when I had to run a new cord down for this other 12 volt connector, I like having a little set like this. So now I can pop it right over here in my little box. I like to have all these things handy within reach. What do you think? Yeah. See, I've got this little box that my wife actually gave this to me on my was it 50th birthday, I think, or 55th, to hold various other presents. But I use it because it sits up here, hangs off my dash shelf, and then it's handy. I can keep my notebook in there. I've got another little light. I've got other notebooks with maintenance reports. I keep my scissors there. I've got other flashlights. I've got a tape measure on the front. And see, I can keep this little thing right there also handy. And I can drop my notebook in there as I write down all my mileage and stuff. So that's all handy right there. And then right over here, see, there's the one right behind my Gecko Funko Pop from Halloween that I got for free. Isn't that fun? So see, there's where the Garmin's plugged in, and I'm going to have to undo the other one behind it where the dash cam's plugged in to plug in this new 3-port one, and we're going to mount that right next to that. I'm just going to have to move my hand sanitizer right here, and so we'll just stick that right next to that so I can get everything plugged in. I'm going to use my handy dandy Scotch 3M dual lock to mount that against the side of that one right there. It's mounted against the side of this, you see, of the dash shelf, so it stays in place. And you notice I have to tape things down that plug in, because the 12 volt, that's one thing I don't like about the 12 volt plugs. The way those 12 volt plugs are designed, they kind of stick in. Well, they were made originally for the cigarette lighters, right? And then we started using them to power things in the cars and trucks, but they don't like to stay stuck in. So I found you got to tape them down, or all the vibration and bouncing down the road, they tend to come loose, and then my Garmin goes out, and then the dash cam turns off. So I find unless I tape them in there, then they like to pop out while I'm going down the road. All right, I've got some handy dandy black Gorilla Tape that I keep in a little thing where I hang my headset up over here, again, within easy reach, because you never know when you might need to tape something down, so I always like to have that handy right here in the cab. And I always keep the scissors within reach, because, you know, opening any of these newer packages is a pain in the patootie. So I have my scissors right over there, stuck in my little box, with an easy reach, so we can just slice and dice and chop like you've never chopped and sliced and diced before. It's the miracle kitchen gadget for everyone. It's scissors. All right, so we can just cut that open and pop this puppy out of there. Alright, so there it is. Dun dun dun! There's a little 3-foot cord, which I don't need. I'm going to leave it bound up like that. It looks like this one has a light on it that'll indicate when it's on, and it might even have a fuse in there. It said something about a fuse, so I don't know where the fuse would be. But anyway, we'll stick this one, we'll put some of that dual lock tape on there, we'll stick it next to the one that's up there, and I'm going to tape the stuff that goes into it first, then we'll stick it on, so it'll all stay in place on the dash and won't move around. That's at least the thought. Okay, so you can see these are the 3 other things I'm plugging in here. That one in the back there, that's one dash cam. The one in the middle, that's another dash cam. And this one is my Wii Boost. It does have a switch with a little light on it, so I can see that. So I'm going to have to tape all these into this box, or else they're going to want to wiggle themselves out while I go down the road. And then this box will be stuck next to this box, which is hanging down here for right now, till I get all this taped up. Oh, and I forgot, I've even got this Bluetooth speaker back here because the speaker on the GPS isn't loud enough. And that's plugged in to the first little box, to its USB port in the back. So yeah, I plug in a lot of stuff, baby. Alright, so see, I've got all 3 taped in there, and I did tape this one at a little bit of an angle so I can still access the switch at the top. I find sometimes I need to turn off that Wii Boost antenna. The other 2 I've got taped all the way around, and I found you have to tape them all the way around the bottom, or they will still want to kind of wiggle their way out. Then I still have access to the USB port in front. That will go sticking right up next to that one, and of course then we'll plug that in. Okay, so there you go. Bada boom, bada bing, bada boop. We're all done. See, I've got my access to my USB port there. Another USB port in the back of this one is already utilized for the extension speaker there. So this is the GPS. This second port is plugged into the one behind that. And then I've got my Wii Boost here. 1 dash cam, 2 dash cam, 3 dash cam. Anyway, no, all right, just 2 dash cams. But anyway, so that we have all that crap plugged in, I use that lock stuff there, the locked dual lock there. So see that it all stays nice and sturdy while going down the road, and I can easily then plug in my charging cord for my headset. What do you think? All right, put my Kleenex box back up there in place so I have handy access to that while going down the road. And then finally, Sully needs to go back into place right here with the dual lock tape as well. So got to have my Sully up there. All right, so now we're all set. We're all back. All 12 volt accessories are working and in place. Yay! I think I showed in the last video. See the cord coming out of this first one. I snaked down here. I went behind this little panel. It went down here behind the dash, and it pops out right down there and then comes around and plugs in. See right here. This is my only 12 volt port in this truck. Okay, that's not entirely true. I did have a 12 volt, actually it's still back there, in the far back corner, which is now where my microwave and Ninja Foodie are that you can't access anymore. And there was one that that was in the cabinet that used to exist where my stairway is now, that then I reutilized to run my water pump for my fresh water system. And there was another 12 volt, it was not one of those cigarette lighter type connectors though, 12 volt line going to where a refrigerator, a built-in fridge that can come with these trucks, would have been at the cabinet behind me there, and I utilized that one to run the electric flush mechanism on my toilet in the whole Clutch Trucker remodel. See? Use what you got. Use what you got. I did clean up my whole dash today. I like this wood grain look. The only problem is, boy, does it show dust bad. So I have to clean it once every few days. So I wiped all that down and everything today while I was waiting to get loaded. But you can already see the dust. Like I say, it's pretty, but boy, does it show dust bad. Well, that may seem a little silly to be that concerned about having all the 12 volt stuff plugged in properly in the right place and taped, and so they're not going to come out and all that. Been doing this for 13 years, and so after a while you figure out some tricks. You realize that stuff just does not stay plugged in on its own. You got to tape it down. You got to tape it to something if you don't want just stuff flipping all around on your dash. And when all the things that are plugged into it are things you will use on a daily basis, all day, every day, when all of a sudden half of what you plug in is not available, you get a bit concerned. All right, so that may have been a silly thing to do a video about, and I'm sure a lot of you don't care and don't give a crap less about it, but why not? You know, maybe you need to know how to plug all these 12 volt accessories into your truck, and the best way to do it. And the right way to do it, or what is it what he always used to say, the right thing to do and the tasty way to do it. Wasn't that Wilfred Brimley for Quaker Oats? Boy, you ever had Quaker Oats? I had them once. I felt like a horse. No thank you. So we'll just have to wait to see what tomorrow brings. May not get another load tomorrow. Yeah, that's fine. We can wait till Wednesday. And then we'll just move on from there. Well, thanks for tuning in for that one. Just a quick little update with some load updates. And yeah, I got my 12 volt thing, so I'm happy about that, so we can plug everything back in. Right, Rusty? It's a beautiful thing. Thanks for tuning in. Please subscribe. Please like and comment. Get to your comments as soon as I can. Sometimes takes a few days because I'm a working truck driver. I always forget to say this. Don't forget to ring that bell for notification. That one over there. So you know when the new videos come out. There's Clutch Trucker on Instagram, Clutch Trucker on Twitter. I just put a couple of Rusty things up there. And as always, sniff that magic YouTube fairy dust. Clutch and Rusty, out. I gotta tell you, that's fantastic. I really feel the energy. I'm gonna reward you with 5 minutes of continuous eye contact. All right, you ready? Now come on down. Can't cheat, come on. Oh, there it goes. Yep, all over that begging strip, baby. Happy dog. Loving it. He's loving it. He's loving that begging strip. Oh, he's loving that begging strip. He'd eat him all day long if he could. He's loving that begging strip. Right, Rusty? Oh, yes. It's a beautiful thing. Crack cocaine for a dog. Yes, yes. Munch, munch, munch. Leave me alone, Dad. I'm eating. I'm eating over here. All right, I think you about got it all. We need the infamous happy dog look. Rusty, look up here again. Rusty! Come here.